Hi and welcome to this second episode of Kristoffer Clausen Hunting TV. As I told you last week, this episode will be about calling roebucks and calling red foxes. Calling animals has been increasingly popular the last years, and I understand why, because it is really exciting to kind of go out into the woods and sit down somewhere and you don't see any animals, and you start using these calls and suddenly an animal appears and comes towards you. That's a really exciting experience. And I will not consider myself an expert caller, but I have done a lot of calling the last few years and gained lots of experience, and I will share some of it with you guys. This call for roebucks is called Weiskirchen Universal Roebuck Call, and you can see it has two mouthpieces, but I use the short one, and it can imitate the sound of a young roe deer, a female, and you can make the sound of a calf, and you can make contact sounds and also distress sounds. And I have no system when I call with these calls, except that I call quite aggressively, and it can sound something like this. The first one is kind of a contact call, and the second one, when I lift my lips there, that's a little bit distress call. And I use a combination of these two, and as I said, I call quite aggressively, and I've seen that works really well. So yeah, it's so exciting to call these roebucks, and this is a way to use this call. Let's look at a couple of hunts where we use this call. Jeg sto i lokka med fløyta her, og det kommer en bukk. Han kommer bare bankende rett inn på 10 meter, men han er for ung, dessverre. Men sånn er det jo. For at det skal bli fine trofeer, så må man spare de unge bukkene. Det var det 2 blås med fløyta, eller bare til så kom bukken? Jeg skjelver faktisk på hendene nå, men har vi blåst med den fløyta her på 2 plasser og fått inn 4 geiter på de 2 første postene. Så steller vi oss her sånn, så jeg tror jeg blåser 2 blås i fløyta, så kommer det bare ei geit stormende sin, og hun har jo en stor bukk på slep. Og Marte skyter jo den på et kjapt skudd der når vi får brøla, så gratulerer.
ta etter den?
Fy fader, Marte. Var det rått, eller?
Ja. Fy fader.
Det har stått og lokka i 2 minutter, og kommer bukken inn på 10 meters hold her, og geita står og ser på oss. Jeg løper geita. Er lokkejakt ålreit, eller Marte?
Ja, fy fader. Tok jo ingen stund da, før han kom.
Nå skyter jo Marte som en gud her, og bukka kommer på lokk. I prefer to call on open spaces. It can be clearings in the forest or open fields where I can actually see quite a long distance, because then I have the opportunity to detect the animal before it detects me. And that's the key to being able to shoot these animals, because when you first call them in, you also want to shoot them. Der nede. Det skjer ting på lokkejakt. Nå lokka vi her et par minutter, så kom det geit og killing i åkeren bak oss her. Jeg sto vi og følte med på det. Plutselig hører vi det dunker i bakken 20 meter på siden her, så kommer bukken. Da har vi vinden som går sånn, så han fikk været av oss, men da gjorde han en bue, og så stoppet han heldigvis opp på 50-60 meter. Jeg blåste noen ganger til, så nå ligger han her borte. Yes! As you can see, calling roebucks is quite fun, and yeah, it makes the hunting actually more rewarding when you're able to call the animals in. So when it comes to calling red foxes, there are tons of different calls on the market, and many of them work really well. Myself, I've produced my own fox call. It's an open reed call, imitating the sound of a rabbit or a hare in distress. It comes with 5 different reeds or membranes, and they have different thickness, which produces slightly different tone and pitch, and that means that you can use the same call but still have a great variety in the sounds. And that is a key factor to calling foxes, because you want to have you want to be able to kind of make a great variety of sounds, so that you don't make the foxes in one area used to just one sound. So it is a good idea to have different calls which produce a different sound. So that's why I made this call that can actually produce many different sounds in the same call. This is the way I use it, and I'm trying to imitate the sound of a rabbit or a hare in distress. And when I make this sound, I want the tone to kind of vibrate. That's why I'm making this sound the same time as I blow the air, because then my vocal cord is vibrating, and it's making also the sound that comes out of the call to vibrate. The thinner the membrane, the thinner and lighter the tone, and the thicker the reed or the membrane, the longer reach you get on the call. And in summertime, now on this time of year, I use the thinnest reed, which produces the lowest tone, because at this time of year you have lots of young foxes that doesn't have they are unsecure of themselves, and they don't have the courage to kind of maybe come running to a really high scary tone. But in the winter time, when the foxes are hungry and most of the foxes around are adult and they have a good confidence, then you can use the reed that produces a high tone and has a long range. And this call can also produce lots of different sounds. Listen to this. That's imitating the roe deer, and it can be pretty effective. And I can also make the sound of a raven. So with an open reed call like this, you have a great variety of tones and pitches, and also with an extension you get even higher volume, which you want to use when you hunt in the winter time, and you want to reach along like a big area.
Det var ikke lagerholdet det, Thomas?
Nei, den kom skikkelig. Det var ikke mer enn 30 meter, vel?
Nei, det er moro.
Ja, få puls når det der skjer. Ja, har du en rev til, da?
Er det tispe?
Ja, det er tispe.
Bæ!
Ok, Chris.
Ble det på lokk, det? Så nå, det er
hare.
Det er hare.
Ja.
Hannrev, ja. Tøft. Det var en ganske kul situasjon. Den kom bra inn på lokk, for å si det sånn, og kom nærme, og det er alltid moro. Det var lokkerev nummer 2 det, Thomas. Fløyta gjør susen den i hvert fall. Vi får gå og se på reven. En stor, fin hanerev. Det var ikke noe tvil om at den kom på hareskrikelokk, og jeg ble ikke overrasket når det her var en voksen, fin hane. Det er den tyngste vi har skutt nå. En tøffing. Og det er ganske moro når de kommer inn rett på i full fart sånn som det der. Det er ikke mange andre jaktformer som gir meg så mye kick som det. I hope you enjoyed this episode about calling red foxes and roe deer. I really enjoyed making it, and I've made actually quite a few films about calling foxes and roebucks, and at the moment I'm working with translating these into some other languages. First of all English, and maybe German and Spanish and some more. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and next episode we're gonna look into hunting geese and pigeons.